Third trend, which is the demographic, societal, and people trends driving our business. Again, some specifics. The silver tsunami, of which I'm becoming rapidly part of, the aging population, will drive demands for products that will be easy to use and access. Prosperity and disposable income will enable the growth of markets and demand for products, including vehicles such as what I mentioned earlier. Between 2 and 4% is expected in the developed countries, but in some regions, including Latin America and Asia, growth rates will be 10 to 16%. Some experts predict Russia will have a middle class that will grow from 50 to 85% in 10 years, the Chinese from 5 to 40%, and the Brazilians from 25 to 50%. Dramatic growth. The new purchaser, dubbed the omni-consumer, the all-knowing by some, thrives on knowledge and makes his or her choices accordingly. These consumers will drive the market and purchase products that are in line with their individual values and needs. And again, what we call safe, green, and connected. No matter what age they are, that is the decision process they will make. And the fourth and final megatrend I want to cover is acceleration. The pace of change that, frankly, in my opinion, has a multiplying effect on all the other trends. The industrial age started an incredible pace of innovation and technology advancement, but it's the digital age which has given us more knowledge, interest, offers, options from which to choose, and all of them are moving at their own incredible rate of acceleration. New product introductions come so fast, it's hard to keep track of them. A couple examples. When the VCR was introduced, it took 13 years to sell 30 million units. With DVRs, only took 5.5 years. It took a little over 3 years for the iPod to reach 10 million. It took less than a year for the iPad to reach the same volume. The invention of the telephone was an enormous technological advancement. It took 4 decades to reach 10 million users. Fast forward to today, the introduction of the latest technologies, the iPhone reached 10 million in just a year and a half, and more than 10 million apps were downloaded in the first weekend. The megatrend of acceleration may be among the most important to all of us today. Why? Because according to a study from McKinsey & Co., it's probable that the market leader today will lose its top position in 5 years. That's twice as fast as 20 years ago. And if that's not a reason to worry about relevancy, I don't know what it is. So while it's great fun to be on the upside of potential for acceleration, it's equally critical for companies and communities to understand this trend that drives the need for creativity, the need for flexibility and reinvention, but without losing your way from whatever your own North Star happens to be. So let me close with some thoughts about the implications of these trends on our community, particularly Southeast Michigan. The trends that I've mentioned are not only driving consumer preferences and product development, they are equally driving global policy, as well as legislative, regulatory, and the academic environment. So it's critical that business, government, and education collaborate on ways to make our schools, our businesses, and our communities relevant to meet the needs of these trends in the future. In the regulatory arena, we need a much stronger marriage and a whole lot less conflict between the demands of the market and the regulatory pressure on the industries that, in my opinion, limits creativity and innovation. Regulations should never dictate or determine products or markets. In the academic arena, we need an educated, mobile, flexible, and multi-dimensional multi-dimensional workforce. Diversity is now defined by much more than gender and race, and now must include diversity of experience, thought, culture, and knowledge. In business models, we need to maintain the vision, the North Star, for all of our companies. We also need to adjust, we need to adapt, and we need to maneuver to maintain market leadership to stay ahead of the pace of acceleration. Collaboration, both intra-industry and cross-industry, are key to new markets and the development of new business models. Leadership will have to be clear, concise, visionary, and adaptable. The critical point: relevant companies and relevant communities can do well not only in economic boom times, but can survive in recessions. But only if they have a strong vision, they have strong partnerships, solid collaboration among all the constituents, and they must be flexible and fast enough to adapt to the inescapable trends of driving our markets and our lives. So Delphi is back, as I said, and is a relevant company only because we went through a very significant re-examination of our direction, and then we put in place an executable plan to reach the North Star vision that we set. We did it in the context of the realities of the market, and did it so that we could compete with the best of the best. It can be tempting to let realities diminish your North Star, and it can be easy to let realities become an excuse. I thought about that a lot as we dealt with challenge after challenge, and I had a whole lot of reality staring me in the face along our journey. Now I have a plaque that's in my office that's a constant reminder of staying focused on the plan. It's a thought about leadership, and I put it together over 20 years ago. And it says, you have to understand to believe, you have to believe to commit, you have to commit to implement. That was true then, and it's true now, and for where I stand, it's going to be true in the future. So those are just words, unless you do find a way to make them a reality. That's why we're back. It took a painful rebirth of our company to make the North Star a reality. But today, we are a relevant and active contributor because we understand the growing global markets for safe, green, and connected technologies. We believe that we must have an innovation and be extremely competitive in order to be successful. We have to have tremendous potential, and we have to be committed to outstanding execution, and to never, ever let go of our focus on the North Star that would keep us relevant in this very, very tough but exciting market. So I appreciate your time. It's been a great audience. Thank you for having me here today. Take care and drive safe.
We're going to start at the highest level. We're going to start at kind of the U.S. policy level. You talked about the need to be relevant, a need to protect your markets. Do you think the U.S. government should regulate the amount of foreign investment or the number of automobiles imported?
As a true capitalist, I do frown upon regulation. As a realist, which I am, I think we have to have balance and understand that what the markets that we operate in, that we work with every day, we should have the ability to access their markets also. So the real good answer to that, it depends. Okay?
You heard it here first. All right, let's take that just one step further. Delphi is a global company. It's truly more international than it is North American. As you went into new markets, new countries,